We know some of the egregious waste and spending we saw. So, for example, the Biden USAID spent $1.5 million for advancing DEI in Serbia. They spent $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala. They spent $6 million for tourism in Egypt. They spent $1 million to help disabled people in Tajikistan become climate leaders. They spent another $1 million for Hamas, a Hamas-linked charity, and they spent $15 million for contraceptives and condoms in Taliban-controlled Afghanistan. Now, if you're a left-wing radical activist, that's music to your ears. But if you're just an American taxpayer, that is horrifying, which is why President Trump has come in and said enough is enough. We're going to stop this nonsense.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we're going to watch the lunatics from The View freak out once again. This time over Elon Musk and Doge and the transparency, right, that they're providing. Basically sharing with the American people where our tax dollars are being spent, and the ladies just don't like that. So let's not waste any time and get into it.
And yesterday, the House Oversight Committee descended into a shouting match after Democrats demanded to know why the richest man in the world, who nobody voted for, has an all-access pass to all our stuff. He has an all-access pass to raid federal agencies. Yeah. They were not happy about it. Take a look.
Who is this unelected billionaire that he can attempt to dismantle federal agencies, fire people, transfer them, offer them early retirement? I move that the committee subpoena Elon Musk to come before it as a witness at the earliest possible moment.
There's been a motion and second. The motion is not debatable.
I think it's outrageous that this committee will not even entertain a motion.
No, you state your...
Chairman, that's not a point of order.
Somebody
You know,
who's breaking the law
agree. Point
and
of order.
dismantling our federal
There's
agencies.
demagoguery. You're
Hiring
demagoguery.
federal
Order. No,
agents,
we don't listen to
accessing
demagogues.
data.
My job is to look out and make sure that we don't have any kings or queens in this country, but it seems like y'all have decided that it's going to be Mr. King and his queen, and y'all can pick which one is which.
She gets on my nerves. Oh my God.
Do Republicans have to start putting some guardrails up, or, you know, because, and I'm asking this question with a codicil that says it's only been 2 weeks, okay?
Oh,
so
Lord.
To start saying what people should be doing or shouldn't be doing, but what, I mean, doesn't it have to be an all group freak out for us to get any feeling that somebody's watching what's going on?
So, generally speaking, Americans support cutting spending within the federal government. If it's wasteful, if it's fraudulent, if it's abusive. Those are important caveats. There were payment errors in the federal government over the last 20 years of up to $2.7 trillion in improper payments. That simply shouldn't have gone out.
But don't you have to,
So that's where I'm getting
okay.
to. So generally the idea of we're going to go through an audit and we're going to cut waste, we're going to get rid of the fat, trim it, is something people support. My biggest gripe with the White House, and I would plead with them, is this. You need to be telling us what he's cutting and why. There is such a lack of transparency around this. And then when there has been information shared, it's later turned out to be incorrect. So for example, there was this stat thrown out that sounded wrong to me when I heard it, that $50 million was spent on condoms for Gaza.
Yeah.
It wasn't true. It was about $8 million to Africa, and it had to do with AIDS and HIV relief efforts. It had nothing to do with the Gaza Strip, and it was a much smaller amount. And then yesterday, this bogus claim was making the rounds that Politico Pro, like the news outlet, the political news outlet, was receiving $8 million in funds from USAID, which has now been folded into the State Department. What they didn't realize is it was Politico Pro was being subscribed to by federal employees at USAID because they have these tools to look at legislation, to look at policy. So tell me what we're cutting. Make me know that it's not something I have to be worried about. It's not going to affect my life. It's stuff that's unnecessary within the federal government. And those questions have not been answered at this point.
And I agree with you in terms of we should have an oversight committee to look at these things. And that was the clip that we played was the Oversight Committee, and Republicans voted it down, this review of Elon Musk, 20-19. My problem is not the review. but who is in office, this unelected billionaire, and what the heck is he doing? Like, we have no transparency, not necessarily about the actions that are being made, but about who is making the decisions and why he's making those decisions. And I would caution everybody, please, again, read Project 2025, because Trump claims that he didn't read it, right? That he didn't read it, he doesn't know anything about it. 36 of the acts that he has done in these very, very long, almost 3 weeks, come from Project 2025. And the other thing that I want to note, the final thing is Russell Vought, who is the architect of Project 2025, is now up to be the Director of Management and Budget. He said, yes, somebody looks very shocked in the audience. That's the OMB office. When I was a federal prosecutor, that's a very important office. And the interesting thing about it is, he says in Project 2025 that his goal is to slash federal funds and put civil servants in trauma. Sir, civil servants are serving their country. You do it not for the money, because you don't make any money. You do it to serve and help.
I want people to learn this word if they haven't heard it before. Kakistocracy, okay? With a K. Kakistocracy, not kakistocracy, kakistocracy. It is a government run by the worst, least qualified, or most unscrupulous citizens. And I feel it is exactly what we are living through right now. To your point, it's only been 2.5 weeks. God help us. We have to go through 4 years of this, which is why we need to set up some guardrails by making sure that there is a Democratic House or Senate in 2 years, because it is the only way that there will be any guardrails against what Donald Trump and Elon Musk is doing. I'm very worried about the conflicts of interest with Elon Musk that nobody seems to care about. This is a man who himself, his companies have gotten billions of dollars. Look, Elon Musk invested, almost $300 million that we know of on the Donald Trump campaign. Yesterday, Senator Klobuchar made a joke. She said, what's the difference between Donald Trump and Greenland? Greenland isn't for sale. And so, he is claiming his price. You remember me saying in December that people who worked for the federal government had to prepare. That's USAID. That's 10,000 people. Yesterday, 5,000 FBI agents were put into some sort of investigation at DOJ for doing their job. I mean, what is happening is outrageous. What I want to know is, when are we going to hit the streets? When are we in America going to stand up and say enough is enough?
Well, beyond the fact that he's unelected and he clearly has conflicts of interest, which the only response that the Republicans had was he'll check himself, which I don't trust them to check themselves. But everyone agrees we need to cut spending. We're $36 trillion in debt. I get all of that. But what's weird is I can't tell if we're just witnessing a bending of the knee in D.C. or a tectonic shift of things in parties, because Republicans used to be the party of privacy. It was all about, don't come into my house, don't take my gun, don't take my liberties, libertarian party. Everything was about the government spying on us. We have a problem with that. This man right now has access to things that a very small number of people had access to. I don't know how you can't do that job without knowing about the payments and the private information. I'm sure you could look at a flow chart. We have those in every company, the department heads. Look at that and start questioning that. I don't know why he needs these high-level security access to do what he's supposed to be doing.
Well, I just wanted to say that the thing that's kind of gotten me, and it's the thing I really have a hard time with, is you are firing all these people in the FBI.
Yes.
Where are they going, and who's coming in? And are they going to be qualified? What's going to happen to the people who are in the field, who are FBI agents in the field around the world? What's going to happen? Same with the CIA, same with all of this. And when we talk about breach of confidence, I can't remember which one of the folks he's put in to the... It's just, there's too many people.
Hegseth, Defense
Secretary?
Kash
Patel, Tulsi Gabbard.
What is Tulsi doing?
He's the director of national intelligence.
Okay.
National intelligence.
This freaks me out, because how do we know, with all that we've heard and thought about and talked about her, that she's safe?
But can I make a point? Because I've argued this consistently on the show. I think precedent.
What the hell is she talking about? What?
It matters, and decisions we make now echo down in history. And the reason that all of these nominees and cabinet secretaries are going to get through on a purely partisan line vote is because Harry Reid in 2013 decided to eliminate the filibuster for cabinet appointments. So now Donald Trump's going to get all his folks through, and Democrats really don't have a vote on it. Precedent matters because you don't know what it's going to mean down the road.
Well, we do. Yes, but we do know
They
what
can
it means.
argue on the Senate floor, but they don't have the
They can
votes to
slow it
block
down,
it.
but they can't block it.
Yeah.
They can't block it, but
But
the
there
filibuster's still
They
could
were
be
overnight
people
for
who
respite.
there could be people from the other side who say, you know what, you're right, this is craziness.
Yeah.
We could have
And they can
competent
join,
people
and they can
thinking,
filibuster.
you know. But listen, I've watched 60 years of history get wiped out. I know what they do. I know how this works. This is not new. But the newest thing is that I've never seen it both sides, not both sides. I've never seen the Republicans ever act in this fashion, ever. And to not give a damn about the country, to allow it to get torn apart this way, it's freaking me the hell out.
What the hell are these ladies talking about, yo? They want to talk about how everybody that Trump is appointing is not qualified, but they never said anything about Joe Biden's nominees that were also unqualified. Like this guy right here. Check this clip out.
You ever flown a plane?
Thank you for the question, Senator. No, I have never flown a plane.
So you weren't a military pilot or a commercial airline pilot?
No, Senator.
Have you ever worked for an airline?
No, Senator.
Have you ever worked as an air traffic controller?
No, Senator.
You ever worked for a company that manufactures airplanes?
No, Senator.
You ever worked for a company that fixes airplanes?
No, Senator.
FAA administrator is a specialized position. I'm not qualified to be FAA administrator. I have no idea how to fly a plane. No one in their right mind would put me in charge of aviation safety because I don't have that experience. I suspect most of the members of this committee are in a similar position. The American people, when they think about aviation safety, when they think about, I played in this committee, a Southwest Airlines and FedEx plane almost colliding at Austin's airport. They want an FAA administrator who knows why those planes crash and knows how to fix it to keep them safe. And with all respect, Mr. Washington, it gives no comfort to the flying public that their pilot might be a transgendered witch, but doesn't actually know how to prevent the plane from crashing into the ground and killing them. I believe your record is woefully lacking. And in fact, you have zero aviation safety experience.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't want to hear it. These people are just hacks. They're Democrat activists. I don't believe anything that they say ever. Now that we're actually getting transparency. And here's the thing. They're talking about, well, they're invading our privacy as American citizens. No, they're not. They're exposing what the government is doing with our money. Not what we're doing with our own money. They're not looking into our finances and our bank accounts. They're not looking into that. They're looking into the government's finances, the government's bank accounts, and seeing where this money goes. And Elon Musk does not have any authority. He was not given any authority to make any changes or anything like that. They just literally have access to read only. And this was said directly by the head of the Treasury. That's what he said. He said they can only read. That's it. They're just checking to see where the money went. They don't have any authority or power to make any changes. He said they can only make suggestions. Check this out.
I'm here with U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent in Washington. Mr. Secretary, thank you for joining me.
So good to see you.
Mr. Secretary, we are inside the cash room at the Treasury Department. It is almost impossible to overstate how important the work that is done in this building is to the U.S. financial system. Yet right now, there is widespread concern about the DOJ team's access to sensitive payment systems. Are you worried at all that that access and that tinkering of the payment systems could affect the Treasuries market or cause any disruption?
Good. Well, Saleha, thank you for asking me about that because there's a lot of misinformation out there. First of all, when you say the DOJ team, These are Treasury employees. It is 2 Treasury employees, one of whom I personally interviewed in his final round. There is no tinkering with the system. They are on read-only. They are looking. They can make no changes. It is an operational program to suggest improvement. So we make 1.3 billion payments a year. And this is 2 employees who are working with a group of long-standing employees.
The letter that the Treasury Department sent earlier this week talked about how the team currently does not have access to change the system. Have they at any point this year had the ability to make changes?
Absolutely not. This is no different than you would have at a private company. And by the way, the ability to change the system sits over at the Federal Reserve. So it doesn't even lie in this building. So they could make suggestions on how to change the system, but we don't even run the system.
And if they ask for, if they request the ability to change the system, would you grant that?
No, again, they have no ability to change the system. I have no ability to grant that change. That they can make suggestions, then it would go to the Federal Reserve, and just like any large ERP system, there would be tests, there would be this, there would be that, and then the Fed will determine whether these changes are robust or not.
So yeah, I don't know what they're crying about. Well, that's because, one, they don't know what they're talking about. Really, that's what it is. They don't know what they're talking about. Hey, we like the transparency. This is what we voted for. We're finally seeing where all of our money is going, like I showed you in the first clip of this video. I mean, what? Millions and millions and millions of dollars just going to waste. So yeah, I love the transparency. Keep doing it. We want more. It's funny how these ladies are just crying like the way that they're doing, because they never held the Democrats and Joe Biden and Kamala to the same standard whatsoever. That was the least transparent administration ever. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Let's talk about this video in the comment section. Hope you enjoy the content. And if you do, hit the like button down below. And if you're brand new, consider and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.